And welcome to the NXT review. We are the Dadley Boyz of What Culture. I'm Adam Wilborn, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick, here to review everything that happened on last night's episode of NXT. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts, where we not only review the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. Oh! Right now. You do damn house buffering.
Start again, please.
Okay.
Whole thing.
Well, some proud now, SmackDown. Pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup that we complete with a very good quiz, of course.
Folks, I think we are back.
On Wrestle Coach. As I said, they're joined by Hamflett and Sidgwick to review last night's NXT. I mean, it never went away for me, but for you, the power's back.
Absolutely, yeah. I have taken the wisdom of some wrestling fans that I've noticed have gotten into making spreadsheets to rank their favourite things in wrestling. I, for many a year, consider that really lame, but no longer, because I made my own one at the start of 2024, because I didn't want to just have, same message, I like a bit of recency bias, but at the end of the year, it's often too easy. Like, we talked about AEW in 2023 in broad terms. Maybe like loads of it was great, and I've just forgotten it. And it's just called, Did I Like the Show? And I keep a log of every show I've watched with the date, with the highs and lows, and a little Y and a little N. And NXT got its first Y last night. That was the power coming back after a 2-week vacation. I didn't feel like I was getting quite the right mix of good wrestling, bad wrestling.
Yeah, a lot of wrestling there was on NXT for a while.
And you want both. You want good and bad wrestling. And the NXT brand of sports entertainment that is different to the Raw and SmackDown brand. And it just gave me everything. It was 2 wonderful hours last night. Loads of it garbage, but I want that. I earnestly want that from my NXT.
The show sucked. The show is terrible. This
I'm worried
episode.
I don't think you don't have the joy for the nonsense of NXT anymore, do
No,
you?
not really. The show's terrible, and I find it excruciating to watch. I'm glad. Look. I'm glad we've developed lore around it, and this dense, impenetrable web of in-jokes and lore. I need it, because the show is unwatchably bad. It's just so bad. Like, it's just the irony drives me insane. Like, it drives me insane. This is an industry that's often too stupid to function. It's the discourse surrounding it. And like, not just the discourse, like on X and the stupid conversations, but the analysis of it is absolutely stupid. It's the sheer intense irony of, with one exception, and that exception was a pretty bad big man match. Every single match on this show was a spot fest that was either bad, reckless, or just common garden of variety stuff, right? And just the sheer irony of WWE doing its own homogenized, samey, in-house version of a 9 year ago PWG match and calling it NXT and developmental, and that's what these wrestlers are now trained to do. It's like, do you not? It's just this crap. And it's ironic that this artless slop of every match in the same rhythm and the same moves and the same sequences and no build and no limb work and no variety. And this is WWE. The other ones are meant to be spot fests. They're all spot fests. That's what they are.
It's not on trend, the in-ring on NXT, is it? It's not
trendy.
It's not like it's not the cutting edge of anything.
It's like a soulless version of a soulless, homogenized, heavily ironic version, considering what the values WWE espoused for years. Take your time, look around, tell a story. They're all spot fests.
It's why you need more of them out the ring. Like, the vignettes on NXT rarely miss, but the matches so often do. So it's why you need more wrestlers like down the ranch or in Chase U or getting in the mix with the Mafia.
I do.
I need and want it from a Tuesday, most definitely.
Oh,
yeah. I'm sure these wrestlers, many of them that might not be having the best matches of their lives, or spot fests of very samey feeling back and forths on TV. sure one day they might develop it into a character that has their own wrestling
Chacho.
identity. Well, no, that's what I was going to say. They might develop in-ring wise into this wrestler has their own like in-ring identity that can one day be applied to something on Raw, SmackDown, maybe elsewhere away from WWE. But I don't really want to watch them do that. They can do that in the PC in their own time. They should be hosting chat shows on television. Like, that's very much what I want, more than I want the matches so often. And this year's lent way too hard into the matches. And I felt like we got away from that a little bit this week. And when we didn't, I didn't care much for the in-ring, but I liked the booking.
I loved every single bit of it, as always. Let's dive into this sensational show. It opened with another match in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, quarterfinal match between Trick Melo Gang and our boys Malik Blade and Idris Enofe. Really fun opener.
Was it? I wasn't having much fun when I nearly watched a man die, mate. But, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah. Blade and Melo start things off, the back and forth drop kicks, etc. It all breaks down, and there's some mad flip dives to take us to a break from Blade and Enofe with, a slightly scary spot. But Trick Williams made sure it was all fine. So,
yeah, man almost died.
2 weeks in a row where there's been a WWE spot that could appear on that morbid knowledge Twitter page on the For You section. This is pro wrestling. This is not real. Look what they do to their necks.
Like, Trick deserves all the credit in the world.
Yeah.
That was terrifying. That trajectory. Oof.
We come back. Melo's in trouble. He gets out of a belly-to-back suplex, though, brings in Trick, who just runs wild. He rock bottoms Malik Blade for a 2 count. It all breaks down. In amongst all this, I had to ask you what technically the term was for it. We settled on Malik Blade hitting a Spanish fly DDT in amongst all this.
Really cool.
And Blade hit a top rope elbow for a 2 count on Trick Williams. Enofe also did a big frog splash on Melo to look like they had the match won, but Trick dives in to save it at the last second. In the end, Enofe gets chinned, flying through the air. Code breaker from Melo. The flash knee from Trick Williams gets the 1, 2, 3 for Trick Melo Gang, who advance to the semi-finals.
Really like the inclusion of Trick and Melo in this Dusty Cup, the booking of it, the stuff that's later to come. I'm rooting for them. And you would have thought they would, but I'm rooting for them all the more to make the final for how Vengeance Day looks as if it might go down. Genuinely interested in the characters and where we're headed there. I'm mostly with Sige on the match, but I will say this: Enofe and Blade, you always very kindly tagged them as our boys.
I love them.
Podcast faves. But I think a lot of that was from they had a nice baby faces on the come up run in the Dusty Cup last year.
Yeah.
And they just had a couple of poppers in the backstage promos. There was
and the Toxic Attraction stuff.
Yeah, the Toxic Attraction stuff. They had these awesome bodies that they would just sit out oiling them. And it was this is part of the NXT we like. And then in-ring wise, it's just matches. But backstage, they've virtually disappeared in that regard.
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of them in ring.
No, there's not been much chance to see more of that stuff that was so entertaining. And I wonder if that's just because they've been having to learn to wrestle instead. And then you get a match like this where at least they didn't look like sort of developmental noobs or anything. No. It was just, I just thought it to be just pretty passable back and forth wrestling that I see too much of in a week. I had nothing nasty to say about it, but nothing that nice. So maybe we get back, maybe now with them getting a bit more of a profiled spot, we get back to the funny backstage stuff. That is what's going to stand a better chance of getting them over. It
was just a spot fest that was soulless when it wasn't terrifying.
Dusty Rhodes tights.
Polka dot, yeah.
Yeah.
Thought you'd like that.
Not because an NXT star paying tribute to Dusty Rhodes. Well, no, it just looks good.
Yeah.
That's why
weird, with no context. And fair enough, I was a not particularly discerning young child. I looked at Dusty Rhodes on Silver Vision video and thought, I love that aesthetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love his theme.
And then you read later, years later when you first get on RWC and they tell you it's Vince, Berry and Dusty, and then you have to change your mind and pretend you never liked it. Making a fool out of him. Can't believe they're bringing over Cowboy Dusty from that Ric Flair match that I don't even love that much, and they've turned him into a joke.
To this day, might have told the story before. To this day, whenever my parents come round or I go and visit my mum and dad, and how's the job going, all the rest of it. It's he used to love I'm just a common man. My mum just sings it.
The whole thing was great.
Yeah, I think it's one of my favourite songs.
Dusty and Sapphire was a great act. You know, SummerSlam 90 from the Philadelphia Spectrum when he can't find Sapphire. He's absolutely heartbroken because Ted DiBiase's just taking her away. God, I feel for this man. And his polka dots. Gets his ass kicked by Randy Savage.
Yeah.
Bad night for the Duster.
Yeah.
Fallon Henley's backstage, gets asked about the Battle Royal. She said, look, we had fun last week and we all did. But tonight it's down to brass tacks. She has to get through another 19 women. It's going to be chaos. She's down for it, though. She is the top shelf of NXT. Of course, she's here to remind us of all of that. And she's going to put her boots on and make it to the Final Four. Final Four, 3 words. Yeehaw, bitch.
Yeah. Put a bitch on the end of anything in wrestling, and it will get over her.
And then Elektra and Lola are walking through backstage. They can't wait to take out the champ and Tatum. And they're going to go on and Elektra's going to win the Battle Royal and make it a triple threat match, basically, for Vengeance Day. That's the big plan.
Yep.
But whilst they're discussing this, a blind slides up from a door, and there's Tatum Paxley. And she says, I don't think you are going to win tonight, actually. I'm going to win the Battle Royal, so no one can challenge my Lyra. And they go, bit weird.
Yeah.
There it is. There's my NXT right there, baby.
And again, so they work with Tatum Paxley every week. Mm-hmm. And I love the rules where we've seen so many weirdos and people that shouldn't exist on Earth. Mm-hmm. We said before, like, you should call the authorities, somebody can shoot fly.
Yeah, no.
Like, this is massive for humanity as we know. Yes. No. Like, Tap Leg and Goo comes out, stop everything. Like, this is huge for science. But unless they appear in your orbit, it's never been a thing. So Tatum Paxley's arrived in their world now, and they're like, oh, God, she's creeping me out. It's like, well, she's been doing that to me for several weeks, and I watch the show too. You're not aware of her. I love it. And they all work out in the same gym.
And it's stupid. It's stupid, and I feel stupid when I'm watching it.
Wouldn't it be great now?
I feel like I've just got no value.
Now that the NXT characters have got such ridiculous Malibu Stacy with the new hat gimmicks, like they're sort of defined by the clothes they wear because they're so attached to the gimmick. Like Fallon Henley's got the bar towel that she uses for the entrance and that sort of stuff. You know, when they used to have like the Performance Center, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair had a really good one. The trainees doing drills and Becky's there to do a seminar or whatever, then Charlotte attacks her and I'd love it if you got that. But now that rather than the Performance Center t-shirts, they're all in gimmick. Yeah. Because they live that life, but they still have to do their drills.
Yes.
And then you just see them in their various like different gimmicks, but in the middle of a like sort of Thursday afternoon or something.
I want, when they do we've just signed so-and-so and they're all in the grey t-shirts. I want, instead of that, grey t-shirts, but a video and they have to put their hand in the mystery box and whatever they pull out is their gimmick. Like police hat. Oh, guess what? You're a police officer now. Oh, you're a painter. You pulled out a paintbrush.
Considering that's the actual process, why not put it on camera?
Yeah. I know.
Here comes North American champion, new North American champion, Oba Femi. He says on the mic, it knows many of us are surprised to see him as North American champion, but the truth is this was foretold. As soon as he was born, he was predicted to be omnipotent and the embodiment of a war leader. He was tested as a young Nigerian prince. He destroyed his opposition. He was tested as a D1 athlete, and he made it his own by winning title after title and championship after championship. The goal's still the same. He dropped 3 men in the breakout tournament and Dragon Lee last week, and now with the title, he has the divine right to rule over us all, and he's going to crush anyone that stands in his way. Out comes Dragon Lee, obviously, after what happened last week. And he said, look, I can't be mad about what you did last week. Fair play. No one in WWE history has made such an impact.
And I mean, folks, where's the lie?
But holding the title is significant because it represents opportunity. And hopefully he can give that opportunity to others like it was given to him and like Wesley did before him. How about we continue the tradition of the open challenge, and how about I face you for that title tonight? And Oba says, no, the open challenges are closed. And he's like, all right, can I have my rematch at Vengeance Day? And he says, you don't get to decide this anymore, Dragon Lee, but I'll consider it. And he leaves him.
I really enjoyed this in the same way that I've been enjoying Oba Femi's matches, in that even though he's being like told to do certain things as everybody does them, he's got this style that looks like he's never been coached, and we know that's really valuable in WWE. He was delivering some of these lines that were a bit grandiose and a bit over the top, but again, there was like the fans like created his own version of like a what chant, like there was an immediate call and response, and he rolled with it and immediately built it into what he was saying, and he would just stop, and there was like such a glint in his eye, like that even when he was delivering this stuff that would have otherwise sound stupid, again it just felt like he hadn't been coached. It was like is every single word of this a complete shoot, and they've said go out there and say what you like even though I know what you're saying is a bit daft. There's just, maybe it'll wear off, but I just think there's like, he's just glowing.
Can't take my eyes off it.
Yeah, he's just glowing to me at the moment, like Oba Femi. I can't wait to see what he does next. I don't care what might go wrong. There are a few wrestlers I want to
Something might go wrong.
Yeah, pretty soon. There are a few wrestlers I want to watch as much as Oba Femi in my wrestling week. Also, I don't know much about my athletics or other wrestling outside of AEW and WWE. Once you win the C2, is that when you enter the D1? Have a message?
Not really.
D1? Like maybe Eddie Kingston can get to the Oba Femi level.
I overwritten garbage.
Disagree.
Overwritten, Oba Femi.
Disagree.
Eddie Hopes in the back.
I like him knocking the sides on that as well.
Yeah, no. I'm not doing that. I'm not an idiot. Look at me. I'll squash you any day of the week, but I'm not doing it now.
Only is the buzzing of flies to Oba Femi.
Eddie Thorpe's in the back. There's Hank. There's Tank. There's loads of others congratulating on him winning NXT Underground, of course. He says, I had to stand up for my culture. And in comes Trey Bearhill and says, thank you for representing us. And they do the classic WWE thing that I know you love, Sige. Trey, right? Yeah, Trey Bearhill. And they talk about where they're from. And then they talk about all the people like bloody Dijak and Lexis King trying to tear them down. And you'll never guess who comes in. It's Dijak. Gets a bit out of line, let's be honest. And he says, you know, has he taught you that? Well, you say your culture taught you everything. Didn't teach you when to quit. It sets up a match for tonight. I love Dijak, man.
I like him.
I like Dijak. I like this. Like, the acting is just abysmal. It looks so stupid.
The match was not... Well, we'll get there.
Trey Bearhill is like his... animalistic qualities is a man spotting that Butch is no longer a dog. Like, I think a slot has opened up, and a man called Bear's going to fill it.
Trick Melo are celebrating winning backstage. And Melo's like, yeah, we're going to go all the way to the finals. But then who should turn up, Sige? But a man in his own words who is Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah. Oh, very entertaining.
He says, sorry about the whole New Year's Evil thing. I did want to have a fight, but they wouldn't bloody clear me. But I'm cleared now, and you deserve your title match on a big stage. How about me and you for the title of Vengeance Day? And Ilya leaves, and Trick's absolutely buzzing, and Melo's like, that's when the Dusty Cup finals on. He's like, how can I forget?
Love this. Love this.
It's not bad, this, if you like
good.
it.
So you've got like the semi-final next week. If and when there's a bit of a they'll win. They're going to make the final. But if and when there's a miscommunication, Melo's like, I get it. Like, you're not as arsed about this anymore because you've got your precious title match. But of course, they are going to have the thing. I could think they're going to win the whole thing. It's probably going to be in the opener. And Trick's going to get injured, or Melo's not going to save him at some point, so he's already going to go in here. It's really good stuff for building to this. Still don't know why it was abandoned. Trick versus it. Maybe somebody had this idea and was like, screw him. Like, but we never got the Trick Ely match. Much better here. It's the Joe Balor comparison when they went on to win the cup, and there was when's he going to turn? When's he going to turn? When
Look, scratch my back.
Yeah.
Just on the right shoulder blade, down, right a bit. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Oh, that was good. That's still, what?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's good. I'm now comfortably proceed with the podcast now. Yeah, this booking's good. Trick Williams potentially doing double duty.
Double duty.
Could really, really babyface him very nicely. And then...
He doesn't need help in that regard, does he, either?
But no. But, you know, every little helps.
I thought you were going to say, like...
Tesco gimmick.
No, not everything has to be a gimmick, Adam.
Supermarket worker as a wrestler.
Club card.
Shelf stacks. Could we see a second line of work?
So Trick Williams, right, can do the bulk of the... He can be the face in peril in the Dusty Cup final at Vengeance Day, right? And maybe he wants to gut it out when Carmelo's like, come on. Like Bret Owen, but with the right intentions from Trick and the... But he had right intentions. Did Bret? He was a great guy. And then Trick, unfortunately, just cannot make that tag. And despite a valiant effort, he has to tap or he gets beat. Then he's going to be all right to face Ilya in the main event. I'll step in for you. This is Carmelo Hayes. I'll step in for you. And he's like, no, I'll do it. And then Carmelo's like, okay. Again, he's kind of carrying an injury. He gets the near fall of a lifetime over Ilya, but he just, again, can't get it done. And Carmelo's like, well, nah. Beat you up. and then have the match at WrestleMania.
I think, this is when you've got an exciting angle in your hands. I think they win the match because I think the heels they defeat, you create your own singles match off the back of that. They're going to have the perfect heels to fight. We'll get to them later. I think they win, and there's this whole Trick Melo gang are better than ever, and that's when Melo turns. Trick finally thinks he can trust him. Absolutely. It's always been a bit frayed of late, and now, no, look, they've gone on and they won a tournament together. He does have his best interests out. There'll be a tease in the match.
But why would Carmelo want to beat him up after they've won the cup?
Because
maybe Trick
because they get a title shot for winning the cup.
They get a tag title shot, but he doesn't want that. He's only ever wanted the singles. He's only ever wanted the singles
Maybe
title.
Trick wins the world title as well.
Yeah.
Who you might be going up to the main roster.
Might he? Is that a report?
I've just made up.
We make it up about all of them every week.
Well, they're all good enough to go up to the main roster and be absolute stars in my eyes. So,
but 3 separate scenarios.
Yes, exactly.
That tells you that they've got something right with this.
That tells you Shawn Michaels yet again. Oh, he's cooking.
When is that Observer Award going to drop? Middle of January.
Is it? Is that when we got a date for this?
I don't know, but I
January,
really want
do it again.
I really want the conversation when
Down, right. Yeah.
If and when Tony Khan wins. I cannot wait to read the chat. I think it's going to be incredible if he does it.
It's one of those. It's going to be a go day on X.
Yeah.
In any permutation, yeah.
Oh no, a bloody friggin'
Because Dave will disown. You'll say that if it was up to me, we'd do Triple H.
Yeah. Who was there? One. Was it CMLL? Like they've had some really big numbers at the massive gates this year and stuff.
Oh, proper resurgence last year in this.
What if he wins because the Observer readers could not bring themselves to vote Triple H or Shawn, but also were too discerning to vote Tony Khan.
And then they pretended that they watched CMLL.
It's going to be CMLL actually for business reasons. I think real resurgence for the biggest wrestling brand in Mexico.
Some bad news for you.
The oldest promotion in the world.
You might say the huge resurgence for the market leader.
For the sleeping giant.
The sleeping giant. The sleeping giant has arisen.
Some bad news.
Good luck to Triple H.
What is the bad news?
Well, judging by this, it's late February that they drop.
God, what's the point? What is the point?
Friggin' Dave counting manual posting votes, isn't it? He's like...
It's all digital now. It's all dig.
Oh, gone are the days of the little weird confusing confusing date thing that I can never understand. If this is your 3rd issue, there's only 1 issue remaining. And what?
Yeah, and then it's this Observer's dated... When? Did he call Hulk Hogan at Bash of the Beach 96 or not? I can never freaking tell. He claims he does. I'll take his word for it.
I'm so envious of Americans that just got it through the post. Getting your Observer off the mailman, opening your mailbox at the bottom of your street and the friggin' Wrestling Observer's in there instead of junk mail or farm foods vouchers. It's Observer Day.
Then it was time for Lyra Valkyrie and Tatum Paxley versus Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez. Matching gear.
Matching gear.
Matching wings.
And Lyra Valkyrie asked to act as if she's met Tatum Paxley for the first time. She's got her wings on. Yes, she's friggin' in love with you and obsessed with you. We know this. She didn't until this moment. What are you doing? Take them off. Were you shocked? She's been creeping around you for a month.
It's crap. I hate it.
Tatum Paxley isolated for large parts of this match. They build to the Lyra Valkyrie hot tag. She runs wild until Paxley makes a blind tag after Valkyrie gets cut off. Leaps into the ring with a high cross. Gets Valkyrie and Vice get into it. But Tatum Paxley saves Valkyrie at the last second. She pushes her out of the way, eats the roundhouse kick for her. But the legal people are Tatum Paxley and Elektra Lopez. So Paxley gets knocked out and collapses on top of Elektra Lopez, who's down. 1, 2, 3. She wins the match for the team.
Yeah. Silly. So I loved it. And I like the
finish was so stupid. And
I loved this finish. I thought it was really clever.
Finish was really stupid, and that's why I liked it. So see, we're halfway.
Yeah, we're all different views.
Different
strokes, different folks.
The finish was really dumb.
Different jobs.
But
this continues.
Finish really dumb, but I never want the show to be clever.
No.
This was very, very silly, but it's one of the wrestlers is a bird. So And I just don't care about the pin being silly. I like what we'd get with the heels later on as well. I just did not see any of this coming. Couldn't have predicted any of it. And thought, cool. Something different to look at next week. There you go.
This is Spotfest, an absolutely atrocious finish with terrible storylines and terrible characters. It's not good.
It's great. The women are excited in the back for the number one contenders match in the main event. Was Normal Stream Girl on here?
Yes.
Yes, I popped.
I can't remember what her name is now.
Stevie Turner.
Stevie Turner, that's
You
it.
got it once wrong, Stevie Hunter.
That was it. But they're all excited for the match. But Ariana Grace is doing her thing. You know my love for Ariana Grace. Their vision is limited.
Is it a wrestling promotion ending in T? Benny loves it.
If it ends in T, I love it. If it starts with T, you love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's
The Fed.
I was talking TNA.
TNA.
All right.
But also, yeah, the Fed.
I don't mind one with an E in it, but it best be at the end. You get it?
You ever heard of it?
You ever heard of it?
Oh, God damn it.
Ariana Grace, they're all like, I'm fed up with this. They all leave as she does this. Your vision is limited, girls. I'm going to outlast you all. I defeated Roxy last week. We didn't. Sure. I'm going to win. I'm going to defeat Lyra. Tonight, I take one step closer to the ultimate crown.
I'm really struggling with this itch.
Back scratcher. They all leave, and she says, "Thank you all, ladies," and realizes she's alone. I love the gimmick.
You must have felt pretty silly when you thought this battle royal would be rubbish, Sidge. Pretty silly watching this segment.
Interweave, like a web of stories. This
How
battle
could I have
royal.
been so naive? Yet again.
Other companies just throw people out there and just, put 20 bodies in the ring, see what happens. This one, everyone's like interconnected. Like,
What, NXT has answered.
God, such a knob.
NXT has answered one of my all-time favourite Sidgwick criticisms.
No, it hasn't.
No, it has.
yeah, already.
It hasn't. Let me explain how. One of my all-time favourite things you said was the AEW corridors.
Yes.
Interviews, lines of wrestlers. Stand above the building and look down, and you'll find a queue of wrestlers ready to interrupt their rivals.
Yes.
Love that. It was so easy to visualise for why these interviews continue to go the way they did. NXT were like, he's right. This can't happen. Put them all in the ring.
Stood awkwardly close together.
Stood all next to each other in a line. Just put them in there at the same time.
It makes more sense. That's the indictment. It
does.
makes more
It's
sense.
still pretty stupid.
And yet, it makes more sense.
Well, you wanted your grab, Sidge. Here it is. Rich Holland versus Joe Coffey.
Time to sing my gig.
Very brief, this.
Thank
God.
Rich Holland is... Sorry, go on. I'll give you my thoughts on Rich Holland after you recap.
He's a box-like structure, isn't he?
He's a frigate.
He's a... It was a hoss fight. In the end, Holland trapped his arms, took his head off with a
Mean Gene
clothesline.
said when the SummerSlam sign fell down.
Freak Holland.
Frigate.
Hit his power slam finisher, got the 1-2-3. Gallus immediately jumping after the bell. They keep looking to see if anyone's going to come out and save Rich Holland. But as Joe Coffey said, no one's coming. You've got no mates. Beat the crap out of
No
him.
fans. That's what they should have done if they're
Wealdstone Raider.
If they're a firm, and your boys in a firm, you sigh. They've got that kind of aesthetic, don't you? Trying to mug me off in front of my pals. You muggy little football factory.
Yes.
Yeah.
This match was poor, and Rich Holland is poor.
What's Rich Holland's new?
What's the word I'm looking for? He's just so inflexible in his movements, isn't he? Uncoordinated.
He's a rugby player, wasn't he? So he's probably
Yes.
trained, just keep quite a strong stance.
Yes.
And you got to loosen up. So you got to do the total opposite as a wrestler, and he's never kind of made that connection, has he?
No, he's just
He could become Ridge the Fridge in NXT, though. Cool
Yes.
under pressure.
Yeah.
unable to move.
Nice.
Rigid. Who's his, basically he needs, so obviously they're making a point that, he's going to need some friends for this 6-man, but he needs
Maybe he
friends.
needs to go back to school.
Well, he needs friends to stop himself being Gallus, doesn't he? Because he basically said he's he's a one-man Gallus.
Not American Gallus.
He's not American Gallus.
By the way, shout out to Brian.
Oh, Brian
You seen
making-
this?
So great.
Bleary-eyed in the morning, I promised myself to return to it.
Identified all the Galluses for us. as what's that thing called? It says like chaotic neutral, chaotic good, all the different.
I have to revisit this. I looked at it and I was like,
tremendous.
I'm too asleep for this to make sense. But
Good, neutral, and evil, chaotic, neutral, and lawful.
Yeah.
So you got good, lawful, FTR, lawful, neutral, Alpha Academy, lawful, evil, Young Bucks, good, neutral, Hank and Tank, neutral, neutral, Gallus, neutral, evil, Rich Holland, chaotic, good, Blackpool Combat Club, chaotic, neutral, the Quarter Catch Crew.
Yeah. At the moment, my least favourite of all the Galluses, I think.
And chaotic, evil.
Gallus are always the worst Gallus.
At the moment, I think the No Quarter Catch Crew are worse because I think one day we might have to worry about them becoming like a regular pushed presence, and we've done that with Gallus now. They're never going to get the belts back. Well, we're over the worst of the Gallus era.
I don't look at it back.
Regal's son Gallus is the impending threat.
Chaotic evil is the Hardys, by the way.
Yes.
Like the fact that he's used an image from AW Rampage on that one.
Well, of course.
Well done, Brian.
Sorry, no. Where are your manners?
Sorry.
From the dimension of Rampage.
We're entering the Gallus dimension.
Stand the pair of them. Like, I have to get over this. Like, this Hardys thing. I have to get over it. Like, you know when you shield yourself from the horrors of real life through, like, your escapist pursuits and hobbies, and you probably get wound up about minor breaches of etiquette rather than, like, vastly evil things going on in the world.
What's happening to you right there in that moment, isn't it? So it's easy
it's easier for you to confront, I guess, rather than to think about this awful stuff. The Hardy Boys, well, my least favorite thing in the world.
Put me over on a podcast stage. You scratch my back and I'll scratch yours.
I'll tell you what, cheer you up. NXT Anonymous.
Oh, yes.
They're caught filming this time.
Again.
Sneak peek into the latest developments with JC Jane's scheme within Chase U. She's looking at some pictures on her phone. She's saying that these are bloody fantastic, these are. She says, thanks so much, ladies. The work has only just begun. Good luck, Thea. Good luck, Carmen. I think Carmen Petrovich was helping that because she loves Chase U. She says, who doesn't love Chase U? Quite right, Carmen. Wishes them good luck in the Battle Royal. They all head off. But she asked Jasmine to hang back, saying she did a great job and asking her for some drinks.
So, obviously, Jasmine and Thea are going to get embroiled in a bit of a fight for Jace's affections as JC has just snaked her way to the top of Chase U. Are they trying to tell us that this is a Calendar Girls deal?
I sure hope not, because there was other pretty prehistoric banter on this show.
Yeah. Like, is that where this is going?
Given what was going on elsewhere, which we'll get to, it would not surprise me one bit.
We've had 2 weeks of...
You kind of do this in the wake of Mandy Rose's exit, by the way.
Lord, no. I've just remembered something I need to say about Booker T that we need to go back, sorry. But
I'll remind you of Booker T.
Thank you. But yeah, that's 2 weeks now where it's NXT Anonymous, which, when you think about it, the optics are horrendous. JC hasn't invited people in to see what this is, and some hidden camera pervert has been like, what are them ladies doing in that window? And then it keeps being, you be her on this picture, look at these pictures, they're amazing. The world's not ready for this. The whole, like, we are supposed to be on the hook, and we are, for what is going on in these pictures, not because we're perverts, but because we want Chase U to be saved.
Andre Chase later on said, let me read this verbatim, she's our only hope, basically, I think it was.
Save us, JC Jane, you're our only hope. Like, this feels that, like, whatever the twist is, that it's, so NXT can be like, see? You thought we were massive perverts. It is, in fact, ... I just can't think of a ... anymore. I don't know what they're...
You can't see their boobs. They're reading a textbook.
Yes.
That's Calendar Girls, but with, like,
with
capes
yeah,
and stuff
the, what is it, mortarboard? That the yeah. Anyway, Booker T in the...
Book. I'm just a
Sexy book.
I hate no suck.
It's funny you mentioned Booker T enjoying theme music. Because did you catch him in the Trick Melo entrance?
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable scenes.
He's been doing this for ages. It's his thing.
I've never noticed this before.
Oh, yeah.
Has he been on this for a while?
I've never noticed.
I've never noticed this before. So he was... So, like, it's Trick and Melo have got that, like, awkward mashup where it's not even a mashup. It just drops into Melo, drops into Trick. And every time he's the happiest he's ever been in his whole life. You think he was on DoorDash. He is absolutely buzzing with life, up that Trick, the whole deal. And then it cuts to Melo's music and he's like, oh, God, turn this off. And then what that Trick will come back and it's like, yeah, here we go, let's go. And every time he forgets, in about 6 seconds, his life's about to be over.
Yeah, it's like us with Natalia.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Brett's back!
Oh, God, yeah. You'd think after 52 weeks a year we'd realise.
After 52 weeks of 15 years? How long has it been?
We've had that. Represent Natalia probably 100 times more than we ever did Brett.
Yes, I know.
In real time.
I know. Just goes to show.
Kalani Jordan's warming up in the back.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I was watching.
Melbourne.
There was
up, down. Oh God! Anna Louise is much despair.
Shout out.
Can you scratch it?
Huh?
Can you scratch her back?
Yeah.
She like it?
I think so.
I don't think she does.
Tell me
out
she's
to,
lying in the bedroom. Wait a second. Carry on.
Shout out to Queen of the Ring.
Yes.
Who uploaded a thing where she was like, my first video that I did was reacting to all the Royal Rumble entrants in 2018 when she was there in person. It was the Women's Royal Rumble, loads of surprises, so loads of huge baps all night, that sort of thing. And then, I can't remember if it was her or somebody she was with. I was watching the video. It's great. It's just people having the best time at this 2018 Royal Rumble. And then, Natalia's music hits. And bearing in mind, this is for, the Women's Royal Rumble. And there's enormous pop. And then it's oh, yeah, Natalia, I thought it was Brett for a second. Why would he be in this match? But even with that, history being made, in a place she kind of earns, it's
Kalani Jordan's in the back. She's warming up for Royal Rumble. She said, got a bit of chip on my shoulder. I broke out in 2023, but I'm breaking through this year. I'm tired of being told to be patient. In comes Brindley Reese, the new Simon Dean.
Yeah.
She's proper jazzed about this. She says, best luck out there. If it's not me, I hope it's you that wins it. The difference between try and triumph is a little bit of oomph. I like that. LETSGO. Let's
the
go.
worst television show I've ever seen in my life.
Brindley is such an awful name.
Yes.
Just love the energy. I've got real affinity with that.
I like the try and the oomph bit as well. I'm saying Brindley's a terrible name.
Baron Corbin.
Brine.
Yeah.
Some tinned hot dogs.
You love those, though.
I love the tinned hot dogs. I just have to drain the brine first. Some people like heat them in the brine in the pan. And I just think that's gross. Just get fresh water. Enjoy your hot dogs. Cooking. I'm like Shawn Michaels.
You don't cook, you heat.
Yeah. I heat and eat.
Unless it's crisps.
Or cereal.
Yeah.
Or the Cumberland sausage, because I've already bought that. Somebody's done the heating for me. Straight in the bread.
Lid. Food should have a lid, you baby.
Consume, fuel, go again. Powering myself for an afternoon of sitting down.
Yeah.
Oh, here he is.
Here he is. Suck, man. Still on, but I've got a message.
Oh.
It's
Michael Kohler, the anonymous general manager.
oh no, there's no metros. So we currently have a points failure in the Pilo area. This is affecting trains between Pilo, South Shields, and South Hilton in both directions.
Points failure. What are the metros? Everton.
Ooh, topical.
Yep, that's right. And maybe Forest. I don't know. I didn't read the whole story.
No.
Honestly, this country is so irreparably broken.
So finished, man.
It's honestly, it shouldn't be allowed to be this finished.
No.
How is it this finished? Every service has failed dismally and profoundly.
Andy Murray is running out of crocodile images to send me when I text him from the platform and say, train's not coming. That's me a minimum of 40 minutes later than where I intend to be. Why? Train just said no thanks. Train stopped. Train didn't make it to where I live, so nobody goes anywhere. Oh, cool. I sometimes I look up and down the platform about the people. I'm very fortunate. We have the ability to make our hours up elsewhere, all sorts of stuff. But not everybody does.
No.
Jobs where you're absolutely not, and it's incredibly stressful. And I look up and down this platform, and I see us all there that have been waiting a minimum of 10 minutes, often in freezing conditions or rain, to then just be told no by a screen. Like nothing else but that. We're all on our apps reading the same thing. This train is no longer in service. That's not a reason. That's a waste of the red text.
That's also not a solution either.
No. You could have just wrote like cancelled. You didn't need to tell me it was cancelled again. And what do they all do? Where does everybody... Like, a lot of them, I know what they do. Like there's a shop that a lot of people make the same trudge and walk up to and go and get like a Mars bar at 7 a.m. or something. Make the best of this then, shall we? And then walk back again, but nobody wants to speak to anybody. So we all stagger our exits. It's a torrid state of affairs.
Yes, it's completely broken, this land.
Thankfully, we have this excellent escapism to get back to. Baron Corbin's in the back.
Yes,
I
great.
love this team.
You know what?
Yes, come on.
No, the chemistry's there. The material decidedly
Even
isn't.
better.
No, the material's like it's absolute Richard Keys banter. This.
And he was loathsome.
Yeah.
And so are these.
Yeah, but let's just do the copy.
Baron talking about being a leader. Bron rushes in. He's like, what are you doing? You said the interview was at 5:30. You text me. I've got the receipts here to prove it and everything. And Corbin's like, sure, doing the interview. He said, look, last week my partner was nervous, so I picked up some of the slack. And Bron's like, no. What Baldy's trying to say is I was the leader, actually, and I sent the bodies flying. I saved his ass, and the wolf dogs are on the hunt, so we're going to beat Axiom. And Nathan Fraser.
When I'm cleaning windows.
That's
Next
why he
week.
said Richard Keys, because you could call his hands wolf dogs.
Yes, correct. Cool.
Corbin's
To
like,
get my friggin' wolf dogs all over you. It's the kind of thing you would say, isn't it?
He was awful, wasn't he? Feet up on the table.
Yeah.
Like, I'm no fan of Graham Souness, but he looked appalled at that alone.
Yeah.
Like, Richard Keys hadn't even started speaking and saying, feet down, you scumbag.
Scruff.
Like, and then the players as well must have had that, like that wrestler thing. Who did you ever beat?
Yeah, I know.
Like, Keys ain't never taken a bump in his life.
Corbin's like, whoa. What did you just say? And he goes back through it and he gets it's wolf dogs he's not happy about. And he's like, what is that name? How long is that taking you to come up with? And he's like, just 3 or 4 weeks. Corbin's like, we've only been a team for 2. Great. Bron says, feels a bit longer. And I just came with it whilst I was thinking of us in the shower, and Corbin's not happy about him thinking of him in the shower.
A bit of light homophobia
Yeah, no need
is
for this.
disgusting, so just ruined it for me, which is a shame, because I thought Corbin's slow... Who's this guy?
Yeah.
Facials were great. Bron Breakker trying to suppress his enthusiasm for this cool team that he loves was great, and then that to ruin it with his shower bollocks.
It was so jarring as well, isn't it? Because oddly, like, I'm loath to put wrestling over stuff like this because then it just like falls on its face again. Like, wrestling gay panic stuff has disappeared.
Yeah.
I found this jarring. How like I never saw this line coming. I was like, what the frig have you done that for?
Yeah.
Because they ruined what was a really good bit of
Yeah, they had a good bit
interplay.
afterwards, but I was still thinking about what.
Yeah.
Like afterwards, Bron's like, "Oh, there's no need to shoot all that down. You're a bit of an arsehole, you are."
Yeah.
And they're like, well, "You're the arsehole." Kelly, who do you think you are? And she's like, "I'm a journalist. I kind of want to stay out of this, journalistic integrity." And she goes, "But if I take my journalistic head off, you're both a-holes." For God's sake. There's a live show entrance sorted. Oh, we're coming to Philadelphia on the Sunday of WrestleMania. Plenty of time to get to night 2 of WrestleMania, of course. We are the meat in the WrestleMania sandwich. Join us for that. Tickets go on sale on Friday. whatculture.com/tickets.
The meat and the cheesesteak.
I cannot wait
Neither.
to have a cheesesteak. I'm going to be a total arsehole, TripAdvisor, cross-reference various aggregators and find out which is the best in the area, and I might have one every day.
What was the one we had, Nicholas?
It was in LA, so it doesn't count.
Jersey Mike's.
It doesn't count.
We had this discussion in Vegas a month after you were in LA. We're like, can't do it. It's not a real one.
No, I had
So,
one.
like,
I had one, but only because it was a fast foodie joint that
Yeah.
specialized in slow cooked beef dishes.
that was right. It was a beef, like an actual beef joint, wasn't it? There were
Yeah. But I need to go to Philly for this.
Yeah.
I have one every single day. It'll be like lunch and tea, 'cause there'll be so much.
There's a segment in the middle of the truly awful / excellent King of the Ring 1995 where Bob Backlund is running for president, and I remember watching this, and he's holding a Philadelphia cheese steak so close to the camera and saying, "This is what the city of brotherly love is, this disgusting, fat, slobby food, this sort of thing. And it's like,
looks good.
I'm looking at this, I'll be like, here, it's been that many years in the making. I cannot wait. 29 years. I've been watching that show annually and looking forward to this.
Annually kiss my ass.
No, it's like it's my foot match.
So yeah, you're both a-holes, says Kelly. And Corbin says, we're not being the Wolf Dogs. Bron's like, all right. Wild Boars. Corbin says you should be ashamed of yourself and leave.
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! Ha 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 ha!
We each have 10 seconds on the spot to think of a better name for this tag team than the Wolf Dogs. Doesn't have to start immediately, and we let the followers on X or the YouTube comment section decide who wins.
I mean, there's not one. Wolf Dogs is goated. But
You've got 10 seconds. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Starting now.
XL Bullies.
Ooh.
And there'll be
Topical.
a campaign for people to ban them, like all dogs should be.
Wilborn, you have 10 seconds.
Baldy and the Bron to the tune of Pinky and the Brain, please.
Sidgwick, you have 10 seconds.
Yeah, I can't really think of one.
Oh, okay. There's a buzzer going off. Bum, bum, ba-da-da, ba, ba, ba-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Sidgwick!
I can't think. I think XL Bullies.
Well,
Wolf Dogs.
Wolf Dogs is the best.
But that's...
They're going to lose, and then Baron's going to turn. This is why I think they're going to lose. Baron's going to turn on Bron, and then that's the stand and
It
deliver
should be a
match.
team. This is the most I've ever liked Baron Corbin ever. Horrific, like,
Yeah.
prehistoric homophobia notwithstanding.
Yes.
The actual chemistry and the interplay between these two genuinely is the most I think Baron's been good, and I think Bron needs something like this.
I think watch this, and I thought Bron's going to do the stuff they do on the main roster. He's going to be a megastar. Like he already was gonna be
Bron
awesome.
Corbin.
There you go. Over to you.
Mine doesn't count because I did not get in the 10-second limit.
This will turn the babyface so
Yes.
fairly quickly as well. And then the joke dies. Because
Trick Melo better win the Dusty Cup because otherwise I might be rooting for the family to lose the tag titles these two. I love them.
Oh, they would kill the family as well. Yeah.
Speaking of the Dusty Cup, the other quarterfinal came next.
Yeah. I thought the alarm was going to go off.
Really?
Yeah,
You got a
it's
sense?
not. It's not. It's got a sense.
They're like the
pocket.
pocket text.
Yeah, I know it was a
Oh.
pocket adjustment.
Oh.
And I thought, oh my God, is that going off? But it's not. It's not. My phone just moved.
Chase U versus the LWO. Duke Hudson and Riley Osborne obviously representing Chase U. Andre Chase was out there with them, taking on Joaquin Wild and Cruz del Toro. Hudson clotheslines them both out to the floor. Osborne hit a huge dive to take us to a break early on. When we come back, Osborne hits a flip dive onto both of them for a bit of a breather, and they do the hot tag, the greatest hot tag in wrestling right now. Duke Hudson, he cleans house. Del Toro manages to fight back and hit a poison rana. Hudson thought he had a cover, but he didn't see the blind tag. Wild does a dive that takes out Osborne. Wild also then does a dive through the ropes and hits a tornado DDT to Duke Hudson on the floor. Joaquin Wild gets holy chance, quite rightly. What a performance he's been putting in recent weeks in NXT. In the finish, Wild springboard moonsault on Hudson, tags in Del Toro, Phoenix Splash, 1, 2, 3. LW advance to the semi-finals, and Mr. Chase, as I mentioned earlier, says JC is their only hope.
This was a better spot fest than the rest of the show. Probably the best match on the show, this. Comfortably, really. And it was still like a spot fest. It was still a kind of soulless execution of take turns in doing moves to each other. No proper narrative through line, really. I'm just so bored. And the thing is, I know we have our fun with the law. This happens like so often every single week on this show that I'm banning ironic appreciation of it, Wilbur. What do you think of that?
Disagree. And what was the Surrender Cobra? So a lot of Chase U Surrender Cobras after this.
That's it, yeah. I'm sort of with Sidgwick on the mat with empty calorie
Sorry
stuff.
for this podcast in about a month.
One of the big problems with this match is that you couldn't really do either Duke Hudson's hot tag or Riley Osborne becoming this babyface is actually pretty exciting because they were wrestling exciting babyfaces. It wasn't great matchmaking. But what it did give you was the opportunity, which I like, to root for the LWO to win because I wanted that match. I wanted Chase U to lose. I wanted to see Chase U continue to have to face the consequence of all that. The wrestling so often gets in the way. And I'm not even saying that facetiously, and I know sometimes I want the nonsense and the gaga more than I want the wrestling, but like it does get in the way. If this was a wrestling match for wrestling's sake, it wouldn't have been booked because it didn't remotely play to what Chase U were good at in terms of actual crowd manipulation. They couldn't really do anything of what they offer other than spots, because what they offer is quite exciting, fiery babyface work, and they're in there with better fiery babyfaces.
Fucking wild, just star of NXT for this year.
He's unbelievable as a talent. He's
Amazing.
probably one of the most underrated in the entire world.
Fair play to him as well, because I sense that there's an element with both of them actually that they were concerned about a possible demotion with the Santos heel turn, and then what felt like it was going to be this obvious like-for-like switch on NXT, and they're like, no, we're not having that. We'll just be class everywhere.
Yeah. Another contender for the Battle Royal is seen looking a little bit nervous backstage. I'm talking about Adriana Rizzo, a.k.a. The Riz. But Tony and Stacks walk up. Tony says, "Oh, yo, Riz, what's the matter? I ain't never seen you like this before." And Riz is like, "I'm excited. I'm excited for tonight, but I'm nervous. My voice matches number one contender Battle Royal." Stacks is like, "Yo, Adriana, the Riz always takes care of biz." Tony,
That rhymes, Stacks.
Yeah,
that's the second time he's done that.
Yeah.
It's a catchphrase.
It's a cash phrase.
Tony says, "Oh, this is nothing like you ain't ever handled before. Remember that time Susie Q was giving you a hard time? What'd you do? Boom!"
They love their exposition nostalgia. They absolutely love it.
Yeah.
She punched Susie Quattro in the face.
Yeah.
Knocked her out. Stack says, "You got a left hand like Iron Mike. Susie was snoozing." Riz is like,
It's
Stacks is like the genius, isn't he? He's like
no, Stacks is an idiot, and they're all idiots on this.
Lanny Poffo with other similar attributes.
I mean, I probably shouldn't,
yeah, I was going to be careful, yeah.
God, imagine if he added poetry to his stand-up routine, Sidge and Wilborn. Imagine that.
Hey. Riz says, "That's because she deserved it." Tony says, "Oh, how about that time the books came in a little light and you had to show Spadini how the family does it? What do you do? Boom!"
You know, the ultimate irony of this terrible Sopranos knockoff is that there's an episode of The Sopranos entitled "Remember When," and they say it's when the main the family is really starting to creak, and Tony Soprano's really sort of entering as I cannot be arsed with the life, the disgust and the loathing that comes with the sociopathy, and like Paulie Walnuts, that episode is the target. He unleashes this self-loathing at him because Paulie Walnuts keeps saying, "Hey, Tony, remember when? And then he just says, "Remember when's the lowest form of conversation. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of the life." And then the brain geniuses at NXT go, "Right, okay, we're going to do the Sopranos thing, right? And what we're going to do is, right, we're going to make our entire thing being sort of wistful. Our gimmick, even though it's the one thing the Sopranos
Unless
writer
that's
said
the
is the
only
lowest form
episode
of
they've ever seen.
conversation." This is okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
I just love that it was the perfect family segment ultimately. From like, it took me back to the
Perfect!
Well, hang on. It took me back to the very first time we met Stacks. Right? It took me back to the very first time we met Stacks, and we're all just in disbelief. Like, you're in the mafia, you're in the shoot mafia,
Yeah.
mate, and you're coming to Tuesday nights to wrestle on NXT. This doesn't work, right? And Riz is, I'm really nervous for my Battle Royal, and they don't have a single like in-ring reference point, like, well, you know what you've been learning in practice, you know, when you had that match on Level Up, and none of that stuff, just imagined mafia exposition. Like, that's what needs to, it's right back in the roots of the Tony D character. He didn't even try to tie it to wrestling. Like, I've been a hit in waste management, so I'm going to bring my skills to NXT. You got to say that, Tony. These things don't marry up, and the same thing
You
is.
shouldn't be saying that. I'll take a little bit off the top. Don't say that, Tony.
Yeah.
You know what's going to help you in this Battle
It's
Royal?
a felony.
The writer's room. What else could happen in the past? Hold it right there. Ideas, balls. Sopranos character names. Food.
Well, speaking
It's
of
called
which,
Adriana, and they do remember when earnestly. Like, this is pathetic.
It's not over.
NXT, more like HBO.
Do you agree or?
I thought this was cinema. Tony says, "Oh, even better. How about that time all three Colucci sisters were giving you a hard time? What do you do? One at a time, big bang, boom. Knock them out." Stack's like, "Oh, cool. Like the Dolphins at KC the other night." Topical reference.
Hasn't she also just entered the lives? Or is the implication being that she's, well, obviously now we know she's been there forever.
Yeah, they've brought her into NXT in recent weeks.
Is that what the deal is?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's because they need to sort out the Chase U thing. Like, who can we get to sort this out of the Riz? She always handles biz. So. You feel silly now, don't you, Sige? Riz says, "Carl Lucci deserves it too. What's your point, Tone?" Tone says, "Oh, the boys, all the women in that match tonight, they deserve it. So give it to them, huh?" Riz says, "All right, then the bodies are gonna be flying just like on the bridge." Tone goes, "Oh, easy, all right."
Yeah, easy.
Not literally, Riz. Stack says, "Back to business, head in the game."
She was in there for 10 seconds.
Give me one right now.
She was in there for 10 seconds. Am I right? Am I right?
Riz sort of
Sucks.
like Riz. I didn't think this when I was watching the promo, but like on reflection, Riz sort of sounds a lot like Two Times. I don't know. It's almost like there's only three voices, which doesn't feel representative, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Of a nation of people, but you know.
Oh dear. But yeah, and then she hit Stax's hand. Boom. Go back to commentary.
Was the Sopranos movie any good?
And the Many Saints of Newark.
around to
Never
watching
watched it because I just, I saw the young Tony in trailers and thought, no. Sadly, because it was his shoot son, wasn't it?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And then I read the reviews and I was like, nah.
You see it, Nicholas?
I've seen it. It's you don't need to see it.
Okay.
It's not terrible. It's just not. You feel like you're watching people cosplaying as.
Oh.
Yeah. I hate seeing that.
I didn't read good reviews and I...
Doesn't sound like your sort of thing, that will, Bon.
My kind of thing. You want to go? You want a good TV to film adaptation? Entourage, true to the source material.
Oh, shut up, man.
Right. Anyway, moving on. Oh, actually, I've just remembered.
What?
Time is
What?
it? Oh,
Now.
Well, with the Philadelphia show,
Yeah.
they need my help getting the website ready for Friday for when the tickets go on sale.
Should you get someone like Phil and Nicholas who are more
well,
technically minded than you are?
Nicholas is obviously busy doing this right
What
now.
about Phil? He's
Phil's
in.
just texted me. He said, "Can you just give me a hand holding this wire?" So I'm just going to go and give him a quick hand with this.
You don't upload websites physically.
And
Plug them in.
I'll be right back. Yeah.
That's literally, we have the internet on computers now. You piece of trash.
I'm not sure about this one, but I think Phil must be winding you up.
I'll tell you what, I'll find out. I think he's having a little bit of a joke. But I'll go and find out.
But he knows we're recording. He knows
but
we're recording.
He's a prankster, that guy. He's always pulling
Yeah,
a
so
prank.
don't believe the prank and just stay here for the podcast.
Phil needs a hand sticking up the posters on Twitter.
Oh, this is pathetic. This is absolutely pathetic.
Is he just using this for Skype? Like this, I'm becoming.
You know what it is? Actually, no, we just got a new delivery. I was thinking Starbucks got a new coffee machine here at What Culture. It's incredibly exciting. But like those pods are running down, so I thought maybe he's getting a sneaky cup.
And that's what's been happening the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Because these excuses.
Yes! How's it going, guys?
Sorry, I mean, just stop talking there. We do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you make of NXT? I thought it was a fantastic show with some great matches. No such thing as the goddamn spot fest in sight, huh? What do you make of it?
I don't know, Stacks.
Back in business, Stacks.
But I almost didn't make it to the show today, I gotta be honest. All that snow, not sure if you've seen this, you heard about this. It was a little bit, it's very chilly out there, very snowy over in the States, but thankfully the Vaughn cord was working perfectly. But Sige, what's the deal with snow, huh?
Snow is created when tiny ice crystals stick together in clouds and drop out in the form of precipitation. You ever heard of old wives' tale stacks of, it's too cold to snow? And you think, that makes no sense. What about the Arctic? Well, maybe there's a little bit of truth in that because bigger crystals then become bigger snowflakes in moist temperatures that hover around 0 degrees. So that's the deal with snow. It's fun. Fun times can be had when it snows. I took the kids sledging when it snowed before Christmas. Obviously, you can have snowball fights. You can make snowmen. It's very picturesque at Christmas. I'm generally a fan of snow.
I'm a big fan of snow snow myself. You're right, guys. Let's hear it for
I
snow.
think so's your booker.
His booker.
People in glass goddamn houses. I like snow myself. Let's hear it for snow after all, guys. I mean, it's the only time the 4 inches can keep a woman in bed all day, huh? So 3 jokes, 3 questions for you. Question number 1. Why was the snow yellow?
It's not because someone pissed in it.
No.
Because that would be... It's a misdirect.
Yeah.
It's a misdirect. Why was the snow yellow?
It's direct. Sound like an NXT guy.
All right, okay, yeah. Oh, I don't know this. That sucks going 0 for 3 immediately. No clue, Stacks. I know you're trying to be really nice. And I appreciate it.
Wait a minute. So yellow, as in like yellow
Coward.
like cowardice, right? So like, is there a pun on snow and running away from something?
Say it again.
Why was the snow yellow?
Because it was cowardly and melted or something.
Yeah, we're not going to get sorry.
No, he's already given away. And it's fine. It's fine because I don't want to cheat.
Yeah,
Because it was a coward and it melted away.
That's not right. Why was the snow yellow? Because Elsa let it go. Little one for the kids there, huh? Show this to your children. Question joke number 2. Pamphlet. What do you call, picture this, a sunburnt nudist pissing in the snow? What do you call a sunburnt nudist pissing in the snow?
I mean, I don't know where to start.
like it's
It's a
certainly
nudist naked.
nudist naked,
Something about
sunburnt,
something
red.
about something about genitals, a red cack.
It does paint a picture of a red cack.
So a wicked pisser.
Ooh,
So a sunburn.
no, I don't know.
Nah,
I don't know, Stacks.
I don't know.
What do you call a sunburnt nudist pissing in the snow? A red hot chili pecker. Question joke number 3. Sid, what is the difference
There's no sex stuff this time, is there?
between snow and a goyle? Difference between snow and a goyle.
It's something about. You won't be inches again, though.
No, he's done that one.
He's done that one.
He's
Snow and.
now then, Stacks does make himself the victim of the joke sometimes, but also he's a misogynist. So
Yes, Stacks is a
it
raging misogynist.
Like snow disappears, doesn't it? And I often think of when you can tie in disappearing or leaving a situation quickly when it comes to Stacks's
Yeah.
jokes about the opposite sex.
Yes.
When the temperature gets too hot, they disappear, as if like when the relationship gets a bit tempestuous, they break up.
No.
He's
It's not the punchline, is it?
No.
What's the setup against Stacks,
What's
mate?
the difference between snow and a goyle?
Melting.
No.
Oh God.
No.
Saw your eyes widen there, Sidge.
Because I think I've got the key term in the punchline. What do you do with snow when there's too much in the driveway?
Get a shovel.
And you plow it. So I think the word plow is involved here.
Yeah, maybe.
Set up again.
What's the difference between snow and a goyle?
When I plow snow, it actually goes away.
So goddamn close.
I thought it would
Good.
be.
Not right. What's the difference between snow and a goyle?
I know. I was trying to get this brain away.
I get that. Yeah. Stacks dead. What is going on in there?
What's the difference between snow and a goyle? Snow is harder to plow when it's wet. See you later, guys.
Plow. I knew it was plow.
You did well, Sidge.
I knew it was plow, man. Where's Wilborn? Stacks up, bye.
Bye, Stacks.
But usually Wilborn.
Sorry, I forgot. Yeah. I couldn't remember if he.
Usually he comes back.
It's because I want to hear what the frig you're actually doing. Because
He was just joking. He was
Phil.
just joking. Whatculture.com tickets working absolutely fine.
Right.
Forward/tickets, sorry.
And you should then enter this website, the physical realm of this website
Go
that
into-
Wilborn has created.
Go into the shop that is this website.
Yeah.
Miss anything? Miss much?
Stacks.
Oh,
Popped in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Again.
Some weather stuff. I've got a type 5 on weather.
Any poetry or anything?
No. So maybe at the moment he's saving that for television and he's not yet bringing it to the podcast. But who knows? You do.
We go back to commentary following... did you get any further, sorry, after the Chase U match?
We didn't know.
Oh, okay. We go back to commentary, and not only have we got Vic Joseph...
Oh! Teachable moment! Teachable moment!
And Booker T, of course, but now Joe Gacy's joined the team. He's an announcer with an old jacket on, and he's talking about the big main event coming up, and Vic and Booker are weirded out by all this.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah, same. What is this?
But, as always with WWE, if you let it play out, it all made sense in the end. Moving
What's our
on.
Joe Gacy thing this week?
Well, you know, I don't want to get too arrogant here, okay? But it's a very popular podcast. Thank you to everyone who watches, who listens, who supports. It really means a lot to us. And I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but we often say sometimes it feels like they're listening to us. And literally mere hours after we launched our new feature, which is, of course...
Hey, Dijak, take those stupid sunglasses off. We're inside.
Wagner Watch.
Come Tuesday.
Wagner Watch. Guess who's back on the show?
Von Wagner.
It wasn't at my back, it was my front.
So, Von's in the back. He's with his manager, whose name completely escapes me.
It's Robert Stone.
And he's asking Von about his New Year's resolution, but Von doesn't do that. It's for dorks. In comes Noam Dar and Ora Mensah. Noam Dar carrying the Heritage Cup, and Von's like, "What's that trophy you're carrying there?" And Noam's like, "It's not a trophy, it's my Heritage Cup." And Von says, "That's weird, because I've got a cup too, but it's for his cock. It's his cock cup, which he puts in the Heritage Cup."
That's what we do. That is not a cup. This is a cup.
So,
we've affected change. We brought it back and they're running with it. Like, there's dickheads on that podcast onto something.
so Von's like, "Oh, fancy a shot of that Heritage Cup, you know, Noam?" He's like, "No chance. It's complicated. There's rules, regulations." He's like, I know, I get it.
It's Scottish, so where are your manners?
I have to, sorry, it's complicated. You know, there are regulations, that kind of thing. And Von's like, "I understand. If I pin you, do I win the cup?" And Noam says, "No! It's 6-3 minutes." And he says, "Oh, do I only have 3 minutes to beat you?" And Noam's like, "No! It's 6 times 3.
Sounds like a CBeebies bedtime story.
It's 6 times 3. And Von goes, 18. That's math and wrestling. Tough stuff. Noam says, "Ain't tough stuff." And but Von's like, "Just clarify though, if I pin you, I'm in the cup." And Noam's like, "No!" It's the best 2 out of 3 falls. You'd have to beat the champ not once, but twice. Von goes, "Oh, 2 times 3. Now I got it. I need a 6 count, or sex as you say it." And he says, "It could be tough. Can I bring a calculator?" No, I'm saying, "No!" Take Ed. "I'm done. I've melted my wee brain." He leaves. And sounds like you got it now then. And Von's like, "Yep, I got an A for algebra, baby." And he says, "How about Von Wagner gets gold in 2024? And Robert Stone loves that as a resolution.
So do I. I mean, in the tied it back to the resolution stuff at the start.
Honestly.
This was storytelling. I'm not being facetious.
You look, he's like, "NXT, not a fan. Von Wagner shows up."
It's
Hang on,
great stuff.
Not a fan. Von Wagner shows up.
Hey. You all right?
No, I'm Dar. What's the opposite of yes? Notes on this.
Perfect. And the tease of Von getting gold in 2024.
We're nearly the main event. This is like the longest podcast we've ever done in our career.
All of us going, like, this Heritage Cup is terrible. Like, and then later on in the same podcast, Von Wagner's great. And NXT have thought,
Yep.
fix it.
Yeah.
Send in Von.
Yep.
Then it was time for Dijak versus Trey Bearhill.
Jesus Christ, it sucked. That's my analysis.
I'll keep it short. So Dijak mainly dominated here, but at one point, Joe Gacy, who you may remember I mentioned was on commentary. You're like, why is he out there? Well, as Dijak spills to the outside with Trey and starts berating the announce team, the referee's busying himself checking Trey's all right, and Joe Gacy headbutts Dijak. That allows Trey Bearhill to make a comeback, but Dijak hits him with a big kick, a big boot, 1, 2, 3. Gacy jumps Dijak after the match. They brawled. But obviously Bearhill's still down, and Lexis King slides in, hits a swinging neckbreaker and slaps his face a bit, yells at him.
Not a single thing to say about the match. I really like this guy, the freak section of NXT, like Trey Bearhill, friggin' Lexis King, Joe Gacy's a commentator, and Dijak's here too.
Yep.
Like this gang of weirdos. Keep them together. Super group.
Main event time?
No, Briggs is backstage. He's not got his mate there, of course.
Yeah.
So there's none of that.
Because they've gone their separate ways, and you must go. I'll give you love.
Up walks JBL. What the hell are you doing here? And
he played kind of like the wise man in the movies.
Yeah.
Who kind of talks in riddles, but one day you'll get it, kid.
Mop the ash from Threat Level Midnight.
Mystic John.
yes,
He always walks through the APA door.
Yeah.
And he just pops up next to you.
It's like arcane dialogue, and he's speaking in riddles. What the hell was this crap?
Yeah,
I
Briggs
get
asks-
what you're saying. Soap him up in the shower. Like a metaphor or something, JBL. No.
Briggs asks for some advice, and JBL says the win was great, but what you're looking for isn't there. Do you know why I picked you for the Iron Survivor qualifiers? Because you're incredible. You remind me of me. But I need to find out who you are in here. Show NXT, show WWE who you are. He talks about becoming JBL as well and all this.
I don't know if they reframed the APA bit, so JBL just delivers this massive, profound sermon, walks away, and then the camera cuts, and it's Ron Simmons, but he's going, damn.
So yeah, Briggs is
Was that JBL?
Briggs is going under JBL's wing, or is going to become a JBL knock. I don't know.
You won't be a knockoff because the idea is you're not like me.
You discover what is your thing.
Yes, that's what JBL was saying.
JBL on Shawn Michaels' payroll after all these years.
Yes.
LTST. 2009.
No a quarter catch crew are grumpy because they lost.
Yep.
Trick walks up to Melo in the back, apologizes to him. He's excited, obviously, about getting time match. He's kind of stepped on everything they've got going. Melo's like, I get it. Trick's like, I've got a solution. We finish what we started at Vengeance Day, win the Dusty Cup, and then I go on to win the title in the main event. Melo's like, you sure? He's like, yep. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have to get through the LWO first. And Trick's like, we've got our eyes on the prize. I could be the first person to ever hold the NXT Championship and the NXT Tag Team Championship. Melo, all of a sudden, doesn't know how he feels about all this.
That's great stuff.
He attacked him months ago, and they're going to have a match at WrestleMania weekend. But they've done a good job of it.
I hope he didn't attack him.
He did.
I hope he just set it up.
He almost certainly did.
I'm with Sidge on this one.
Yeah.
So we get the main event.
Oh, God. You meant to say main event time.
Well,
Gets
it's
me erect.
a sort of two-parter because it's not really the main event because you've got the battle royal that then becomes a fatal
Let's
four-way.
talk about it in one.
Okay. 20 women, number one contenders battle royal. In it, Kiana James, Izzy, Dame, Brindley Reese, Kalani Jordan, Roxanne Perez, Ariana Grace, Carmen Petrovich, Lola Vice, Electra Lopez, Jakara Jackson, Lash Legend, Ren Sinclair, who replaced Cora Jade. Awful news. What happened there?
I really was about to slip. I was trying to use the wall to scratch my back, and it almost went horribly wrong.
It's the wall, brother.
Oh, I felt that slip, man.
Ren Sinclair's in the match because of Cora Jade, who unfortunately has got that awful ACL to get well soon. I think she's going to be out for like a year or something. Also in the match, Fallon Henley, the Riz, Thea Hale, Blair Davenport, Gigi Dolin, Jada Parker, Stevie Turner, and Tatum Paxley. To start with the Riz and...
Not recapping the whole thing, are you?
run through beat for beat every elimination, obviously. The Riz and Jada Parker spill out to the floor because of their histories with OTM and the family. Gigi Dolin eliminates Jakara Jackson. Lash Legend. Riz and Parker have got back in, I think, at this point. She eliminates both of them. Kalani Jordan does a sort of Naomi Kofi spot of not getting eliminated, but not getting eliminated. Is it Michaels from
the break as well, wasn't it?
Well, the spot led to the break.
The really good thing in the match. The one good thing in the match.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it Shawn Michaels, this an emulation of?
Well, no, it's just...
I saw people compare it to the Rumble. 95.
Yeah, I suppose so. Like, no, Shawn Michaels has obviously done it, but they've used it before where somebody get eliminated, but like as soon as they've done it with Casey Catanzaro in recent years, somebody finds a new and inventive way to escape elimination, a battle royal. Use it. That's great.
Yeah, Kalani holds onto the top rope. That was the Michaels spot. Got knocked off the apron, but landed via someone. I do apologize. I've forgotten who it was. Onto the announce desk with a sort of crossbody.
Nearly dropped her.
Yeah.
And don't want to spoil, but like could have been pretty disastrous for the booking if they had.
And she's stranded on the desk as we cut to a commercial. And when we come back, she's already in the ring. As Sid said, she did the walk into the barricade and jumping onto the steps. Turner gets eliminated. Reese follows. Lola Vice, involved in those eliminations, suddenly then betrays her own partner. Elektra Lopez throws her out. But in celebrating that, she loses focus and Tatum Paxley throws her out. And then Vice and Lopez split as a team and brawl with each other to the back.
0 to 100, isn't it? Like they're not even, there's no sort of ambiguity there, just throwing hands straight away in the aisle.
Yeah, that lasted, 4 weeks?
Good.
Carmen Petrovic gets rid of Blair Davenport, but Davenport pulls her out of the ring. Knees her, KOs her basically, rolls her back in. She's just a body in the ring at this point. And Ariana Grace seizes her opportunity, throws her out, and celebrates like she's won the whole thing. In doing so, Thea Hale chucks her out. When we come back from a break, Thea Hale's cleaning house, but she gets cut off and eliminated by Dame. Legend and Dame collide, Izzy Dame this is, for a double knockdown. Izzy Dame gets chucked out. Sinclair manages to get rid of Lash Legend, but then Kiana James throws her out, which means we are down to Kiana James, Roxanne Perez, Kalani Jordan, and Fallon Henley as the final four, which now becomes a fatal four-way, of course. Kalani Jordan gets a bit of shine here. Acai moonsault. James then hit her with a flatliner finisher, but Jordan, in realizing what's happened, rolls out of the ring before Kiana James could pin her. James counters pop rocks. Perez and James team a superplex, but Perez manages to get it into a super Frankensteiner. The finish sees Kalani Jordan running wild, going for the split-legged moonsault, but Izzy Dame pulls Kiana James out of the way, so Jordan just sort of crashes and burns. Perez hits pop rocks on Kalani Jordan. 1, 2, 3. Roxanne Perez is your number one contender, and Lyra Valkyria comes out post-match to stare her down.
So Kiana James looks sharp.
Yeah. Surprise winner as well. Like they're going with their best match in that entire roster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably.
I would say, like in that entire roster at the moment, that's the best thing they could book, and they're going with it right now. So I don't expect Roxanne Perez to win, and I think this might be the heel turn or the exit. I think it has to be one or the other. They're either turning because of these things that have gone wrong, or she's going to lose to try and put over, like I know she's already over, she's the world champion, but put over Bird Person and then leave NXT and fly off herself.
Yes,
to
indeed.
Raw or SmackDown.
Kiana James looks sharp. There's a NXT Battle Royal.
Full of angles.
Full of angles.
So many stories interweaving. I thought it was just, you couldn't take your eyes off it for a second. Hell of an ending to a show that was just top to bottom. Good. Let us know your thoughts on NXT on X at What Culture WWE. You guys can follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
Follow Michael Sidgwick at
I'm Sedgwick.
Follow me at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at What Culture WWE. Follow our brilliant producer at It's Adam Nicholas. And make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. Of course, the Dynamite preview is available right now. But for now, this has been the NXT review. My thanks to Hamflett, to Sidge, to Nicholas, to Stacks. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you soon.